Well, hello there. Happy Thursday evening. It is Thursday night, July the 7th, 2022. Hope everybody is doing great out there. Hope you have had a good week. This is a holiday week. So we started out with the 4th of July on Monday. Of course, many of you may know that I did the Peachtree Road Race, had a lot of fun with that. Hope you all had a great 4th of July holiday. Definitely drop in the comments a little bit of what you got into for the 4th of July. But this is a live stream that is basically centered around just saying thank you. You know, we, of course, on this channel, 20th and 21st Movies, we've recently reached a milestone, crossed the 2,000 subscriber point, which I still can't even believe it. But I, I just know that it's because of this great community of people who care about movies and just loving the conversation around cinema and talking about movies and just being around people out there uh, on this community who care about movies, whether it's films released from the Criterion Collection or Arrow Video or Kino Lorber or the studios or wherever these films come from, just loving the art of cinema in many of its forms across different genres is what part of what we like to talk about here. So I definitely appreciate you, joining me on this journey, because for me, this is very much a journey. I think one of the greatest things that I have enjoyed about doing this channel is, of course, sharing some of the films that I love with you. But I definitely have learned a lot about films from your comments, from the things that you put in the comment section, from being on live streams, and just hearing from you about different films and different directors, different films I had never even heard of, because there's been literally hundreds of thousands of movies made. So I'll never see all of them or anywhere even close to that. So there's a lot of movies out there that I've never seen and never will see. So it's a great opportunity for discovery of new directors, new films I had never heard of. But then once I have a chance to watch it, 90% of the time, I really enjoy the new discoveries. And sometimes not so much, but the overwhelming majority of the new discoveries for me is a positive experience. It just opens up the door to new movies. So I really do appreciate you out there in the community joining, all of us, together on this journey to just talk about movies, and all the, various aspects, whether it's going back to the 1920s, the silent era, or the 1930s, or old Hollywood in the 1940s, coming all the way up to, Avengers Endgame, or in 2 weeks from tomorrow, or even tonight, Jordan Peele's Nope, talking about films like that. All genres of cinema across all the decades is what we'd like to do here. So I definitely appreciate you being a part of this conversation. So tonight we're going to do a couple of things. Now, I said that this is going to be a fairly short live stream. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Really, I just wanted to come on here and spend a few minutes, about 45 minutes to an hour, and just say thank you. And also to talk about a couple of things. One, I want to hear a little bit from you about this Barnes and Noble Criterion sale. What titles have you been picking up? I'm going to share a few recommendations, about 4 or 5 that I've never shared before. So I'm going to share those. They're right over here. And I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit about these films. And then I'm also going to do a live review of a movie that I had a chance to watch last weekend called The Worst Person in the World. This is a Norwegian film from director Joachim Trier. And it is a very fascinating movie that I'm very much looking forward to sharing some thoughts with you on. I'm not going to spoil anything. I do like to, when I do film reviews, sort of dot around the plot a little bit, just give you a little bit to give you an idea of what the movie's about without spoiling the experience, for you, to just come fresh to a movie the same way that I did. So I definitely like to do that. So I'm going to share a live review of The Worst Person in the World for a few minutes, and then just answer any questions you have. So I believe we have 9 people out there. Let's jump into some comments here. Again, welcome to this live stream. Very happy that you are here. So let's see who's all out there. So Spicy 4K Action. Have you gotten a chance to check out Donnie Darko yet? I picked this up on Monday after the Peachtree Road race. There was a Barnes& and Noble near the train station on the way home. So I went in there, saw they had an arrow stand. I picked up Donnie Darko. I have not had a chance to watch this yet, but it's definitely, this is not the limited edition. This is just the 4K, and it's got the 2 discs, the director's cut, and also the theatrical cut as well. So I have not had a chance to watch it yet. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Donnie Darko. What do you think about this film? And did I do good by picking this up, or should I have picked up something else? Let me know that in the comments. So let's see, who is that? Oh yeah, we'll get started shortly. Yes, indeed. Holland Oates. Hello, James. Congrats. Thank you, Holland. I appreciate that very much. Internet user Pop the Champagne. Yes, indeed. I've got a little bit of juice here going, non-alcoholic. I'm not really a big drinker, to be honest, or at all, to be honest with you, as far as alcohol. But I do like some coffee or some nice juice. Although I need to cut back on that because there's a lot of sugar in that stuff. But see, Spicy 4K. Congrats on the 2K. Much deserved. Well, it's really all about the conversation with you, and just trying to put out content that an audience is interested in, tapping into a passion that I have, which is movies and all things cinema, and just talking to people about it and just building a community around that. So I really thank you. Culture Trini, hello Culture Trini, how are you doing? Mr. Cinema Dave, congrats to you as well. and I appreciate that. Cinema Dave, he is also past this same milestone, so big congrats to him. He was on Cinema Dave was on the live stream last week for the Barnes and Noble sale or the Criterion sale Eve live stream. So thank you for joining, Dave. And see Hollow Notes, hey Trini. See Coach Trini, hey Hollow Notes. Jordan, thanks to your raving review of the True Romance Arrow release, I went out and caught my first Arrow release. Oh, okay. Been collecting Criterion for 10 years now, but excited to finally get into Arrow releases. You know what, Jordan? You and I are in the same boat. We're in the same place because I've been collecting Criterions for probably about 9 years now, and I hadn't really gotten into Arrow video until this year. And the first Arrow title I picked up was the limited edition of an American Werewolf in London, and love that. Love the packaging of the limited editions, just incredible. The picture quality, the features, the whole package that you get with those Arrow limited editions. I really enjoyed that. And then one of my favorite releases of the year is that RoboCop limited edition. Love that. I also got Dario Argento's Deep Red, picked up that set, and Wild Things. And then, of course, True Romance, which is, man, that film is so good. So good. I love that movie. It was my first time watching it, and I definitely want to see it again. But let me know what you think about True Romance. And I hope that you enjoy more Arrow titles. Let's see here. What's going on? Oh, hey, Vengeance Media. Yeah, how are you doing across the pond there? Congrats. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Tony from Basement Blues, good evening. Good evening, neighbor. Tony and I live in we both live in Georgia, North Georgia here. So howdy, Tony from Basement Blues. How are you? Thank you. Appreciate that, Tony. 100. Hello, all. Congrats on reaching 2K, James. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Island 007 100. Hey, James, congratulations on 2K subscribers and great job doing the road race last weekend. I wish I was in shape for one of those. I can't say that I'm totally in shape for it. I'll be honest with you. I am not a huge runner, which is probably for the best because it's not great on the knees. Running is not great for the knees, but I am a power walker. So when I get out there and I start walking, I'll start the race with a little bit of a jog, and I'll try to get the first mile in. So it's a 10K race, so it's 6.2 miles. So I'll try to get the first mile in jogging. And then after that, I just go into power walking mode and just take it from there. And then of course, here in Georgia, we have all these hills. And one of the most popular spots along that journey is a incline called Cardiac Hill, which is very difficult walking up. That really challenges you probably around the midpoint. So it's a lot of fun. Jordan, hey, yeah, I have the out of print Criterion copy of RoboCop that I've never actually put in the player, but that Arrow release looks sick. Yeah, RoboCop looks amazing. I mean, I had never seen RoboCop until this new Arrow edition, and I fell in love with that movie. It is an amazing edition. So I am really impressed with it. And I've been impressed with all these Arrow releases this year so far. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Is Donnie Darko, is this good? How would you rate this on a 10-point scale? Is it a 9, a 10? Is it a 6? Where would you rank Donnie Darko? Let me know that in the comments. See, mid-level, Mr. Ken. Hey, James, congrats on 2000, man. Definitely well-deserved. I appreciate that, Ken. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ken was also on the Criterion Sale Eve live stream last week, and I was on his stream earlier this week. So fun stuff. Vengeance, doing good, man. It's midnight right now, but wasn't going to miss the stream. I appreciate that. And man, big ups to you for hanging in there the other night because it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for you, from where you live. So that was something else. Jordan Rickerson, I live in Birmingham and run 3 10Ks a week. Oh, so I'm thinking about hitting y'all's race up next year. Yes, it's a good one. It's a great social event. I mean, it's as much a people watching event as anything else. I mean, as you're going down the street, you're seeing people cheering you along, along the way, and on your left, you'll see people, handing out beer. So they'll be handing out Michelob lights or whatever, and then on the other side, you'll see a church and you'll see a priest, praying over you. So you see the whole, and you see people in Fourth of July garb running, either the Statue of Liberty or red, white, and blue garb. It is a people watching extravaganza. So definitely join us, Jordan. See, Mika in the house. Donnie Darko is a great film. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. So this is Jake Gyllenhaal, I think 20 years ago. I think this is 2002 or something like that. So it's a pretty it's been out there for a while. So no, 2001, I think. So yeah, so I've always loved Jake Gyllenhaal. I love his roles. I love him in Nightcrawler. Would love to see that on 4K. That would be a wonderful announcement. But yes, thank you for that, Mika. How's it going? Congrats on 2K. It's going great, Mika. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your sister and your podcast are doing well. I need to get caught up on those episodes for sure. They're awesome. And I love the tea. They're tea connoisseurs, so that is very entertaining. Spicy 4K action. Grew up with Donnie Darko. Love the film. Okay. Vengeance. Haha. The power of physical media and caffeinated beverages. Yes. In honor of the passing of James Caan, what is your favorite performance from the legendary actor? Okay. All right. That's a great one, Ken. Great one. Let me get up for a second because I'm going to, let's see, show something. See, I'm off camera here. Okay. I'm going to share one of my Criterion recommendations here. But before that, I'll answer your question. Sonny in The Godfather. It's no contest. Sonny in The Godfather is my favorite role of James Caan. He is so awesome in that role. I love James Caan in that role. I also like him. He's a bit older, but I also like him in that film, I think with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eraser, with him. I think it's him and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vanessa Williams, I think, if I got my movie right. And then, of course, due to the news today, I added one of these recommendations to my Criterion recommendations. I would be remiss if I did not recommend this film here, James Caan in Thief. This is one of the first Criterions that I ever got, and I highly, highly recommend this to anyone. If you're thinking about what's a title to pick up for the sale, this is a great one. This is a title that I picked up long before I even knew much about Criterion. I just knew it was a cool looking film. I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to pick it up at Barnes and Noble and saw it for a good price before I even really got serious about Criterion collecting. This is a great film. James Caan plays a thief in this film, and he is a safe cracker, and he's been doing that for a number of years. He's now wanting to get out of the game. And of course, as Al Pacino says in part 3 of The Godfather, every time I try to get out, they suck me back in. And of course, the powers that be are trying to get him to do one last job. And this is a great film. Mr. James Caan, rest in peace. I highly recommend Thief as well as The Godfather. So great film starring the incredible actor. Chris, congrats on hitting this milestone. Hello to all from Edmonton. Hello from Canada, from up north. How are you doing, Chris? Cheers to you. And Culture Training, Ken, you must buy Thief if you don't already own it. The only thing I'm thinking about with Thief is I'm wondering if that's going to get a 4K from Criterion. I have no information on that, but I see Blowout is getting a 4K. I'm so excited about that. I would be so incredibly excited if this film got a 4K. The other thing I forgot to mention, of course, is Michael Mann directed this film, and this film has one of the best soundtracks ever from Tangerine Dream. It is absolutely electric, and you get the whole neon, vibe and aesthetic, and that music just really goes well with it on the streets of Chicago. So this is a great film. Highly recommended. So, but yes, definitely get Thief. Let's see. Hello there, James. Hello, Adrian. All right. Let us see here. What are we going to do here? Definitely add any other questions that you have. I'm going to just spend a few minutes here talking about a few more of the Criterion recommendations. Let me know in the comments section, what Criterions are you picking up as part of this sale? or are you picking up any criterions? Are you exercising self-control and saying, I am not going to participate in this sale, or are you going to walk out of Barnes and Noble with two big mad stacks, of movies? I'm somewhere in the middle, or actually, I'm leaning more towards less is more this time around. So, in my haul, I'll show you my haul in just a second, but here are some other titles in addition to Thief that I would recommend as part of this Criterion sale. So, of course, I recently picked this up, The Funeral from Uzo Atami. I've not seen it, but this same director. So, I got this as part of the Target buy two, get one sale, along with Farewell Amore that I did a review on this channel, as well as Caan is Missing. So these are both excellent editions. I have not seen The Funeral yet, but this is from Yuzo Atami. He's the same director of this title that I highly recommend called Tampopo. So this is a film by Yuzo Atami. It's from 1985, and it's an incredible film. It's about a truck driver who comes across a noodle shop, and it goes into the eclectic mix of the process of making noodles and ramen and love. It's a mixture of food and love, and it is a beautiful presentation. The special features are extensive, and you will learn more than you've ever wanted to know about ramen, about noodles. This is an incredible film. So this here shows you, of course, the disc art here. You can see the food and love theme going on there. So yeah, this is spine number 868 in the collection. So highly recommend Tampopo from Uzo Itami. This is a great film. So that's a great one. And then I think a double feature that I would recommend if you don't have these films. These are films from the 1960s, early 1970s, and they're two films that I really enjoy. These are films that I have not seen in a long time, as well as the other film I'll show you next. But I definitely recommend them, and they are Valley of the Dolls. This is a film that stars Sharon Tate, as well as Patty Duke and Barbara Parkins. They are young ladies trying to make it in show business. So this is from 1967, and it's basically the whole pressure cooker of trying to make it in show business. It's a sexy comedy. It's a really, really fascinating film. Of course, Sharon Tate, you may not be aware, she was killed shortly after making this film. And of course, she is part of the subject of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So that's an interesting film. But yeah, this is Valley of the Dolls. And then you have Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. So I'm sorry for this glare, but this is another film that's very different. So this film was directed by Mark Robson, and then this film was directed by Russ Meyer. And this film takes a slightly different direction. Instead, these young women are rockers. So they're a rock and roll band, and the story goes a lot zanier. It's totally unrelated to this, but it's I think there are two films that you should see together because they're so fascinating. I have not seen these in years, and I definitely want to revisit these. So these are spine numbers 835 and 836 in the collection. Valley of the Dolls and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Highly recommended. And then the other one that I'll recommend, the last one I'll recommend is, of course, we talked about Thief with James Caan. Of course, recently, Mr. Ray Liotta moved on. And this is a film that stars him along with Melanie Griffith and Jeff Daniels called Something Wild. I have not seen this in a long time, but Jeff Daniels and Melanie Griffith have a chance meeting. Things get crazy really quick. And of course, Ray Liotta is one of the bad guys in here. It's just a zany, sexy, romantic thriller comedy. So highly recommend this. This is from Jonathan Demme, and it's a film that I definitely want to revisit because I have not seen it in a long time. But check out the inside of this here. Love that color. Don't you love that? And then, of course, you get a staple book here. And then toward the end, of course, you see them out there having a good time, Something Wild. And then at the back here, you see this wonderful gentleman here, Mr. Ray Liotta. So he plays a starring important role in this movie. So highly recommend Thief and Something Wild, Mr. Caan and Mr. Liotta. So highly recommend this. It's a very fun movie. I need to pop it in the player again sometime soon. So let me see here. Let me go back into some comments here. Yeah, Adrian, so sad to hear that James Caan has passed away. Yes, I completely agree. I mean, I think he was 82 years old, and certainly pray for his family and everything. So, but yeah, he had an amazing career. Amazing. I remember James in Alien Nation. Okay, cool. I have not seen Alien Nation. I already got 6. We'll probably get another 4 to 5. Okay. Let us know what 6 you got, Culture Genie. An internet user really enjoyed the funeral. Definitely recommend it. Okay. So you recommend the funeral. Okay. I will definitely have to check this out. We'll definitely have to check it out. Just picked up the signifying works of Marlon Riggs from Criterion. Okay. Definitely I have not picked up that one yet. Let me know. Let us know in the comments if anyone's seen that, what you think of the signifying works of Marlon Riggs. Dell on movies. I only grabbed 3 on my first trip: Shaft, Love Jones, and Double Indemnity. Wow. Wow. Dell, you've done very well. You have done very, very well, my friend, because those are 3 of the best editions of the year so far, especially if you got Shaft and Double Indemnity in 4K. And Love Jones is one heck of a package, incredible package. You got Nia Long and Lorenz Tate. Of course, Lorenz Tate also starred in Menace to Society that came out last year on 4K. So Love Jones is just fantastic. It's from director Theodore Witcher. It's his only film, and the special features really feature, Theodore Jones, pretty heavily talking about, how he made the film and it being his first film and that whole process of putting a film together and identifying the actors and just that whole process. Mika, haven't got my pickups yet for the sale, but I have my list adding some of these recs. Awesome. Awesome, Mika. That sounds great. Yeah, I think they're good ones. I'll try not to lead you wrong. Tampopo is one I always recommend. Yes, it's such a good film. It's so good. And the picture, folks, this is one of the best, cleanest Blu-rays. I mean, it looks so good. It is beautiful. And it is a 4K digital restoration, and it just looks great. It looks phenomenal. Great looking Blu-ray. Mika likes your pickups, Dell. Arcade 1916, congrats on 2K. That is awesome. I actually ordered Thief Criterion Blu-ray on Tuesday and getting it today. Crazy timing. Cool. Cool. Congrats on 2K. Thank you, Wilson. I appreciate that. Dell, thanks, Mika. Vengeance. When did you start collecting and how did your passion for physical media begin? Okay. So long before I started collecting Criterion, I started collecting like VHS, tapes. It wasn't too serious about it, but I picked up some VHS tapes, got into DVDs, and I was more of a casual collector. And it wasn't until probably around 2010 that I got more dedicated to collecting physical media. And then a few years later, got introduced to the Criterion Collection via Costco of all places. That's where I got my first Criterions. It was around 2013, 2014. Costco actually stocked a few Criterions. So it wasn't like Barnes and Noble level inventory, but they would have about 3 or 4 Criterions in a little movie section, and they would sell them all for 19.99. And the cool thing about it was that 19.99 price also applied to Seven Samurai, which is a $50 title. So during the Barnes and Noble sale, you get that for like $25. At Costco, I got it for like 19.99. So that was great. But Costco hasn't been selling Criterions for a long time. But so it basically started probably around the early 2000s, and then got into DVD, got into Blu-rays slowly through the mid 2000s, around 2007, 2008 is when I got my first my first high definition TV and started collecting more titles on Blu-ray. And then about 5 years later, got into Criterion, and the rest is history. So yeah. So let's see here. let's see. Picked up the Marlon Riggs set last year, but I haven't watched any of them yet. Yeah, I'm. I definitely understand. I definitely understand. I still need to there are a number of titles that I still need to watch that are in my backlog as well. So I definitely understand that. I'm thinking of this box set from this director, and the name is escaping me, but I'll probably remember in a few minutes. I believe James Caan's only other appearance in the Criterion Collection was a minor role in Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket. Okay, cool. Congrats on 2K. I found used copy of A24 film Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal for a couple dollars. Seen it? I have not seen it. I have not seen it. Is it good? Let me know if it's good or not. I got Double Indemnity 4K. Double thumbs up. Notorious. The Game. Female Trouble. I haven't seen that one yet. Rafifi. I I had Rafifi in my hand the other day. Was tempted to get it. Haven't gotten it yet. Blow Up. Blow Up is very good. Army of Shadows, so good. The Manchurian Candidate. Gonna try and hold off on another haul till next week. Too much. Yeah, I'm with you. You know, it's there are times you just want to sit back and just enjoy. You just want to sit back and just enjoy what you already have. If you have several titles in your backlog, just choose one, pop it in the player, and just let her rip. And just discover something that you already have. So let's see. Favorite release of the year. Oh, wow. Favorite release of the year. So that's a good one. There are, I'm going to do a video here pretty soon after the sale about my top criterions of the year so far. But my favorite release of the year so far is probably somewhere between the Alfred Hitchcock Volume 2 set, 4K set, or the RoboCop or Shaft 4K. Is probably one of those. The Godfather set is amazing, but it's probably one of those three. But we we are in an embarrassment of riches. All these great titles to choose from that it's insane. So um, we just have so many great titles to choose from. Let me know what your favorite is, Spicy, of the year so far. Enemy is very good. Warning is also a mind twister. Okay. Can you remember the very first Blu-ray you bought? Ooh, wow, the very first Blu-ray I bought. Oh, wow, what a great question. Wow, that is a really good one. Uh, oh, you stumped me on that one so bad, Adrian. Oh boy. It I will have to come back on that. You have got me on that one. I'm trying to think what was the first one. Now I do log my movies on this app, on this My Movies app. So I do. Do y'all use this movies app on Blu-ray.com? You probably can't see this with with the glare, so I apologize. Anyway, doing a horrible job, but I use the Blu-ray.com My Movies app, so I'll have to look on there and check that out. That's a great question. If I think about it, I'll drop it in here. But thank you. Only reason I finally got Rafifi was because I don't believe it's available to stream anywhere whatsoever. So I finally broke down and snagged it. Cool. I may end up getting it too. The Summon 2022 is a good deadly therapy film. Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. So we've talked about some criterion recommendations, answered some questions. You may have some more questions to pop in, but let me jump into for just a few minutes and talk about this pretty awesome release that has recently come out. And this is a film that I've heard a lot of great buzz around. This film here, The Worst Person in the World. And I got to tell you, I am really impressed with this title. So this is a very different type of coming of age film or very different type of self-discovery type film because a lot of films feature a character who is discovering themselves, doesn't know what they want to do, trying to figure out life. And so this film follows a similar narrative to that, but I think what gives this film such great flavor is the performance of the female lead, Renata Reinsev. she really just brings so much to her role playing Julie in this film and the other male leads. So, part of the film deals with her managing relationships across different men in her life. So one of the men is played by Anders Danielson Lee. He plays Axel. He's a comic book artist, and the other gentleman is played by Herbert Nordrum as Ivan. He's a very charismatic like Starbucks type barista. So she goes sort of back and forth between these men, or actually starts off with one, ends up with the other, kind of goes back to one. So you sort of have that dynamic going on. But this film is about Julie, played by Renata Reinsev. And I'm going to share my screen here real quickly so you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about. And let me do a quick screen share. So this is going to get a little bit dangerous, me trying to do something technical. So oh, let's see if this works out. I hope it does. All right. Hopefully, you all are able to see this. So this is, of course, let me know in the comments if you have picked up, if you plan to pick up Okja. I am really on the fence with this one. I have not picked it up. I'm probably going to wait for the November sale for this one. Of course, this is another one here, The Virgin Suicides. This came out on 4K. I already have this one on Blu-ray, and I'm not, I love the visual style of the film. It's shot beautifully. It's a beautiful film from filmmaker Sofia Coppola, of course, the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, who directed The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. So she is definitely a great filmmaker, wonderful visual style. This is a beautiful film. I just don't feel like I need it on 4K. I've heard great things about the 4K. I've heard that it is a notable upgrade over the Blu-ray, but I'm kind of passing for now on that. This here is Renata Reinsev. So she plays Julie in The Worst Person in the World. And of course, she's in the Criterion Closet. I highly recommend that you check out this video on the Criterion website. She talks a little bit about the films that she's picking out, and she also shares some perspective on Robert Bresson, who is a director I haven't gotten into yet. He directed Pickpocket and I believe A Man Escaped. And so she shares a little bit of perspective on filmmaker Bresson and how that relates to The Worst Person in the World. And I thought that was really, really fascinating. But just click on that video and check it out. It's a very fascinating video. Of course, Renata Reinsev, she plays Julie in this film. She was nominated and actually won Best Actress at the Cannes Film Festival for her role in The Worst Person in the World. It's a 2021 film from director Joachim Trier, and it is a fascinating film about a young woman who is entering her 30s, and she starts out in the medical field. She doesn't really want to do that. She then goes into photography and other pursuits. She meets this gentleman who is named Axel, who's played by Anders Danielson Lee, and he's a comic book artist. She meets another gentleman named Herbert Nordrum, who is Ivan. He's a charismatic barista, as I said before. And so much of this movie is centered around Renata Reinsev's Julie figuring out what she wants to do with her life, and in the relationships that she's getting into, what level of commitment is she comfortable with? Does she want to marry this man? Does she want to marry Axel? He wants to get married, he wants to settle down and have a family and have kids. She doesn't know if she really wants that or not. She doesn't really know what she wants. And she's even debating whether or not she even wants to be with him. And then, this other gentleman, Herbert Nordrum, comes into the play. He's a different type of a personality that is appealing as well. And so you see that dynamic of the tugging of this young woman's heart, trying to figure out where she belongs in the world, what she wants to do, who she is, and just discovering herself. So it's a wild and crazy type of a film that really just comes down to a character study in self discovery. And it is not a completely unique concept because a lot of films do that, where a character is trying to discover themselves. But I think what's unique about this film is the way that it's executed and the way that the narrative plays out. It sort of takes you in unexpected directions, and the acting is so organic. It doesn't feel like acting. It feels like there's real emotion there. And I think there was a lot of improvisation in what they were doing, sort of with some of that Robert Bresson inspiration, just sort of just letting it happen on screen. Just the way that she emoted or showed emotion was very genuine, or at least it felt genuine to me. I mean, she was probably just acting, but it was very convincing. I'll say that. And it's the reason why she won Best Actress. And this is just a very fascinating film. There's an interesting part in this film that is sort of near the middle of the film and is part of the visual effects extravaganza that you get in this movie. There's a lot of interesting visual effects going on that's very fascinating in this film. There's a part in this film where she's running through the streets of Oslo, Norway. So this takes place in Norway. It's a Norwegian film, so you're going to be reading subtitles because the language is Norwegian. So you get English subtitles. But she's running through the streets of Oslo, and everybody is frozen but her and this other gentleman that she's running to. And they show you in the supplements sort of how they shot that scene, and it's just really, really fascinating. And there's another, of course, scene in here that deals with certain substances and the way that they portrayed that. And overall, I really enjoyed this film. This is a film that I want to see again for sure. The special features on here are not extensive, but what you do get on here, of course, you get a new 2K digital master, 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. Of course, this film is from 2021, so it's a new film. Part of what you learn about in the supplements is that this film is 2021. A lot of the shooting was during COVID, so they had to work around some of the restrictions at that time in getting this film produced. And so you get that from the supplements, and you learn a lot about Joachim Trier. You hear a lot from Renata Reinsev. You also hear from Anders Danielson Lee and Herbert Nordrum. I'm butchering their names, but you hear from the other male leads. And you just learn a lot about this movie. It is really fascinating. So there's a making of feature that's on here. And then there's some on location footage from the creation of the film's time freezing sequence. That's very much worth seeing. And you get some deleted scenes, and then you get an essay from Sheila O'Malley in here. So if you look on the inside, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I should no longer be sharing. Yeah. So on the inside, you get, of course, the disc art, which I really dig, and you get this this very interesting fold out. Of course, you'll see one of the men characters here. Here, of course, he's pouring coffee. This is the comic book artist right here. And then when you pull the disc out, I don't break the disc case first, you see her running. And that's the scene, that's the time freezing scene in Oslo, Norway, where everybody's frozen, but she's running to this other man. So very fascinating. So he's frozen pouring coffee, and she goes running off through the streets of Oslo, and it is absolutely brilliant. Of course, look at this art here. You'll understand what this is signifying when you watch the movie, as well as this is one of the opening scenes in the film. Just absolutely fantastic. Lost and Found from Sheila O'Malley. Excellent essay. So from a special feature standpoint, it is not a stacked edition, but you do get a making of. You learn a little bit more about Joachim Trier, his filmmaking style. I had never heard of him before. I watched this movie, but I was very impressed with it and impressed with these actors that I got introduced to. This is The Worst Person in the World, and it's one of the best films that I've seen this year so far. It is a wonderful, wonderful film. I want to revisit it because when I first watched it, I just sort of sat there and thought to myself, wow, what did I just see? You know, it was a lot to take in, but I knew it was a brilliant character study. And so if you're into that type of a film, so it's going to depend on if you're into that kind of film. If you're not, then I would pass on it. But if you're into a film that is a character study type piece that's a little bit unique and very different. It's in Norwegian. Definitely check this out. This film was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy, well, Best International Feature at the Academy Awards, and it lost out to Drive My Car, but it was one of the nominees, and it is one of the best films that I've seen this year. So, The Worst Person in the World. So, that's my live review of The Worst Person in the World from the Criterion Collection. It comes in at spine number 1132, and I definitely recommend this title if you're into character studies like that. So I want to see if any of you have seen The Worst Person in the World and what you think about it here. We'll capture some more comments and probably wrap up here in a little bit. The Summon 2022 is a good deadly therapy film. Okay. Yes, Jordan, I do have a letterbox. I do have letterbox, and I'm going to go in here right now. And I'm bad about keeping it updated. It's not as updated as it should be, but I am on there under, if I can see my profile, 20th and 21st. So I am 20th and 21st on Letterbox. So if you want to check me out there, I need to get caught up on these films that I'm watching and enter them in there. It's a great app. You just got to keep up with it, and I don't do a good job of it. I thought Notorious Biggie movie got a Criterion for a second, but it was the Hitchcock movie. Yes, Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious. Yes, starring Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant. Yep. Dawn Breaks Behind the Isis, a weird film. I had never heard of that film before. Dawn Breaks Behind the Isis. Okay. I had never heard of that before. The Shed and Jacob's Wife are great vampire films. Okay. Again, new discoveries. I have not seen those films, but I look forward to watching them. I remember the first Blu-ray I bought, it was The Golden Compass, and the second was Avatar. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I have got to probably in a future video, I'm gonna just answer that question because you have really got me on that one, Adrian. So I appreciate your asking that. I saw The Worst Person in the World last month. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but it's so great. Yeah, I agree. It's probably not going to be for everybody. You got to be up for that type of a film. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be universally loved. Different people are going to have a different take on it. So it's just going to depend on if you like that type of a character study. And I really really dug it. It was very complex. It was just, and what really sold it for me was Renata Reinsev's performance. Her performance sells that movie. I mean, she is incredible in that movie, and that's why she was nominated, and won Best Actress at the Cannes Festival. So, Buried Alive by Frank Darabont is a wild ride. Okay, Werewolves Within is really good. Cool. You can never go wrong with Bong. Okja is great, but it is divisive amongst fans. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, I agree. It looks beautiful. The creature looks very fascinating. I am halfway between Okja 4K and Virgin Suicides. I've already decided I'm not getting Virgin Suicides 4K. I just have no reason to get that one, but I'm on the fence on Okja. It wouldn't take much to convince me to go ahead and get that. That's where I'm at with that one because I love Bong Joon Ho. But I do understand Okja is not like Parasite or Memories of Murder. It's very different. So, Vicious Fun is a fun, bloody ride. Mika planning to grab Okja. Okay, cool. Castellar, I was very pleasantly surprised by Werewolves Within. Okay, hearing a lot of films that I need to get caught up on. Notorious is one of my favorite biopics, though. Oh, yeah, Notorious B.I.G. Yep, yep. Legendary character there. Sad that James Caan from Alien Nation passed away. Yeah, you know, just an amazing actor. Amazing actor. I love him as Sonny in The Godfather. He is so great in that character, and he's also really good in Thief. I really like him in Thief as well. Ethan Bresson is one of the greatest of all. Yeah, I need to get into Bresson. I don't have Pickpocket, but I do have A Man Escaped, which I believe he directed. And of course, that filmmaker influenced the filmmaking style of The Worst Person in the World. And Renata Ronsev talks about that in her Criterion Closet video. So I highly recommend going to the Criterion site and checking that out. See, I'll get Okja, but probably not this year. Yeah, that's possible for me too. I mean, Okja might wait until the November sale or the July 23 sale. So we'll see. Night of the Demons Part 1 had a great DVD. Let's see here. My Science Project with Dennis Hopper needs a DVD with bonus features. Okay, I need to do something real quickly before we get. All right. Okay, bonus features. Cool. Encino Man needs a Blu-ray. Yeah, there's a lot of titles that need a Blu-ray or a 4K. Congrats on 2000, James. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Novath. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Adrian, remember the scene in Misery where oh God. Who does not remember? Oh my goodness gracious. Who doesn't remember that scene in Misery? I think you all know what I'm talking about. I mean, I I had to look away. I cannot watch that scene. Oh, that scene is that scene with him and Kathy Bates is just over the top. It's crazy. Space Invaders from the 90s needs a better DVD. Yeah, a lot of titles need a little bit more love for sure. Psycho Gorman is a fun film. I have not seen that film. Hope Terrifier 2 is great. Okay. A few more recommendations. In A Lonely Place, the Humphrey Bogart film. I have that one. Very good film with Mr. Bogart, as well as High Sierra. I have a review on this channel. You got Ida Lupino and Humphrey Bogart. Ida Lupino got top billing in that film. At the time, Humphrey Bogart was still finding his way as a leading man in Hollywood. But that's a great film. And you also get a second movie, I think Colorado Territory or something like that. But you get two movies, and I love it when they include another movie in the addition. So High Sierra is highly recommended. James, I haven't seen it yet, but you are definitely selling me on The Worst Person. Yeah, I think it's worth trying out. Again, know what you're getting into. Know it's a character study. It centers around those three characters: Renata Reinsev's Julie. You have Axel, and you have the character that Erbert Nordstrom plays, who's Ivan. So you have the young lady and the two guys, the dynamics of their relationships. You also see the dynamics of their family relationships as well, and how that plays into the mix. It's really a beautiful film. And the other part about the film is this film is presented in like almost like a novel format. It's broken up into 12 chapters, and you have chapter one, chapter two, and you see the Norwegian at the top, and it gives you the English translation, but it shows you different chapters of her life over this roughly 4 year period, as she's going into her early 30s. So amazing, amazing character study. Soylent Green, oh, great film, and Logan's Run are interesting films. Yes, they are very good films, very good films. Hank, the worst person in the world is a great movie. The acting is indeed very good. I also like the visual style of this movie. I do too. And that's the other thing I didn't mention. I did not mention that. So this movie, the worst person in the world, this movie was shot on 35 millimeter film. It was not shot digitally. It was shot on film. So that really lends to the aesthetic of the way this film looks. It looks so beautiful, and it being a new film, they did a great scan on it. And I want to read the technical aspects of it. So sorry about this. Where is that information about the master? Yeah, The Worst Person in the World is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. The film was shot in 35 millimeter, scanned in 2K resolution at Focus Film in Stockholm, Sweden, and Cinelab in London, and completed in a fully digital workflow. The 5.1 surround audio for this release was mastered from the original digital audio master files. So from a technical standpoint, absolutely beautiful. The fact that it was shot on film on 35 millimeter really gives this film a nice look. That was a big part of the artistic direction that Joachim Trier wanted to take with this movie. The other thing I forgot to mention a lot of things, but this is part 3 of a trilogy of films. So this is part 3. It's the third film in the Oslo trilogy. So you have Reprise from 2006 and Oslo August 31st from 2011. And both of those films also star Anders Danielsen Lie. who played Oxel in this film. So he played in those other two films as well. This is part three of that Oslo trilogy. I have not seen the first two parts, but I'm definitely inspired to see them now because this was brilliant. So really, really good. Mika, I'm sold on the worst person. Okay. All right. Spell is a good horror film that uses voodoo. Okay. I was never aware of the rock and roll werewolf film Lone Wolf. Okay. I know the worst person in the world, but have not seen the film. Haha. Oh, okay. You know the worst person in the world. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Uh, I know I want Okja just because I want Netflix original. Okay, I think I may have lost my place here. Okay. I want more Netflix original movies on Criterion. Okay. I was never okay. Okay. So I'm getting caught up here. So Turbo Kid is a mix of Mega Man and Mad Max with Michael Ironside. Okay. I did pick up Worst Person. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those pleasant surprises and discoveries for me because when I did my Criterion sale wish list video, I put this film on my wait for November. But then I started to hear from people about how great this film was. So I went ahead and moved it up and picked it up. As part of my first haul, I got The Worst Person in the World, which I've seen and love. I am going to revisit this title starring Denzel Washington, Mississippi Masala. This is an incredible film, and I am really excited about this package. It looks like a great package. So it feels hefty. So I'm looking forward to it. And this is from director Mira Nair. So definitely look forward to diving into this. This, of course, stars Denzel Washington and Sarita Chowdhury. So looking forward to that. This is a title that I wanted to add as a discovery, and I butchered his name in a previous video, but his name is Andres Vaida, not Waja, Vaida, and it's called Ashes and Diamonds. So I'm looking forward to this Polish film from 1958. And then the other film is a film from the directors of The Red Shoes, Black Narcissus, The Life and Death of Colonel Blint. They are the Technicolor masters, Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, and this is the Tales of Hoffman. So if you're familiar with The Red Shoes, a lot of the stars from that movie from 1948 appear in this 1951 opera. So I have not seen this, but I'm looking forward to it. So these are the four titles that I picked up the as part of the sale. And then after the race, I went and got Donnie Darko, did not get any more Criterions. And basically, I think for me, this sale is pretty much, I might get I might get a Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project box set. I'm going to get Raging Bull 4K, Drive My Car, Devil in a Blue Dress in Summertime. And that might be it, those five things. And I might be done. But let me know what you guys plan to pick up. Castellar stops spamming. Okay. She from 84 is a bizarre apocalyptic film. Okay. Scanner Cop Part 1 and 2 are magnificent. Wow. Okay. The Running Man remake is coming. Oh, okay. Cool. That should be interesting. I wonder who's going to be in that. Mr. Huck, hi, hey James, just bought and watched Shaft based on your amazing review. Loved it. Yes, yes. Now, Huck, I watched your video and I hope you switched out that Blu-ray for the 4K because that 4K it looks so good. I mean, it just looks so good. That package, Shaft is such an amazing package. It is up there among the best releases from Criterion this year so far in terms of just the overall supplementary package, the cultural importance of the film, just the whole story about Gordon Parks as a filmmaker. And you get that extra film, you get the sequel, Shaft's big score on there. You get two Blu-rays, you get a 4K, which has Shaft on there. And it is just a beautiful presentation. It just brings New York from 1971, brings Manhattan to life. You feel like you're in Manhattan and you're just inhabiting that area of Manhattan and that slice of Black culture during that time. And the music from Isaac Hayes is just double thumbs up. Okay. I wish I had my sunglasses here, but just amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Hook. Jordan, I love the artwork on Criterion. worst person, and I found it to be really similar to artwork for an artist I really love named Todd Turgey, and I just found out it's the same artist in both. Yeah, yeah. The art on here, the art is really fascinating, and when you see the film, you'll understand the significance of what you're seeing here, as well as the significance of these other images in here. When you see the film, it'll make sense, and it is awesome. So I'll just leave it at that. Ian Bolaklak, I know I want Ultra just because I want more. Okay, I already read that. Sorry about that, Ian. Where can I donate? No, no, a Nosferatu super chat. I think. I think that's activated. Um, and definitely appreciate that. Castellar Garcia, The Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund needs a good DVD. Okay. I remember the 90s version of Shaft starring Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, I saw the first one with Sam Jackson. I had not seen the second one, but I saw the first one and I remember enjoying it. I also remember it not, and I wasn't expecting it to surpass the original. It's its own thing, and I can appreciate that. And I like it for its own thing. And I like the original as the classic that it is. So and I like the fact that they sort of keep Richard Roundtree's original Shaft in the story, and it's his nephew. So Samuel L. Jackson plays, I believe, his nephew Shaft in that movie. So I think that's cool. I believe Richard Roundtree turns 80, I think, this month. So Ethan Edwards just checked on Amazon. My first Blu-ray was The Searchers in 2009, and the next day, The Aviator 2001, The Adventures of Robin Hood and Unforgiven. I was stocking up for my first Blu-ray player. Cool. Before you even had a Blu-ray player, you started buying Blu-rays. That's awesome. The Negotiator with Samuel Jackson is a thrilling film to watch along with The Fugitive from the 90s. Yes, I have both films. I have them on DVD. I have The Negotiator with Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Spacey. Great film. Have it on DVD. I've seen the Blu-ray. Haven't picked it up yet. It's one of those titles that I look at and I think, you know what? I'm good with the DVD I have. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people, but there are certain titles that even movies that I really like and love, but I don't necessarily have to upgrade them. And then there's other titles that I am going to upgrade day one, like Blowout. I have the Criterion Blu-ray. When it comes out in September, I'm getting that day one. I'm not even waiting for the November sale. So, certain titles, and everybody's different. There's certain titles you gravitate more to wanting to upgrade than others. So I guess I'm similar to everybody else in that regard. Hope Clancy Brown is cast as the new Tall Man for the remake of Phantasm. Okay, and The Sword and the Sorcerer needs a better DVD. Okay, I think I may have shown that one. Planning to grab some older ones I've wanted from sale, like Prince of Tides. Also, a film I love, which I want to grab year, is Pariah. Yes, Pariah uh, Dee Rees, from Dee Rees. And I remember she was interviewed by Robin Roberts of Good Morning America. And Robin Roberts mentions the Criterion Collection. I thought that was cool. So definitely go on YouTube and check out Dee Rees' interview when her release was coming out on Good Morning America. So she had a nice interview there. Island 007-100, Renate Reinzev said that she planned to quit acting just before she was offered the role of Julie. I suspect that she'll be a busy actress from here on. Probably so, and deservedly so. When you see her performance in this film, it is it's a beautiful performance. It is such a beautiful performance. It feels real. It doesn't feel acted. It's acted. She's acting obviously, but it just feels real. There's something authentic that she brought to this role. Now, I don't know if it'll be a one-time thing or what. Maybe she just struck gold on this one. I don't know, but she did a amazing job in this movie, and I look forward to more from her. Really want to pick up Tales of Hoffman. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I Know Where I'm Going and Peeping Tom are two other great Michael Powell films. Okay. Already pre-ordered Devil in a Blue Dress. That's the one I've been waiting for. I just love that film. Great cast. Denzel, Don Cheadle, and Jennifer Beals. Yes. Yeah, like I said, the titles I'm most excited for in this July sale that's coming out in July, obviously, Raging Bull, 4K. I am so excited to see how that black and white photography looks on that 4K disc. I really want to see that. I'm very hopeful it's going to be beautiful. And I'm excited about Devil in the Blue Dress because I have not seen that film in a long time. And it has Denzel. It's another film with Denzel Washington, of course, following up from Mississippi Masala. So excited about revisiting this title here. So I've seen Mississippi Masala and Devil in the Blue Dress, and so I'm going to be revisiting some titles starring Denzel from I guess 19, yeah, from the 90s that is going to be very refreshing. And I'm really excited about Mississippi Masala. It's a new 4K digital restoration. You get a 2.0 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. I just love the fact you got a full on stapled book in here. I just love it. Love it. And then, of course, you see the characters here, Mississippi Masala. One of the things that's really cool about this film is it's a nice cultural blend of Southern United States, Uganda, and India. So it's a beautiful melting pot of different cultures. You know, of course, she's her family is from India. They lived in Uganda, flew Uganda, and come to live in the southern United States. And Denzel Washington is there, and a love affair starts, and it's just a wonderful mix of cultures that I haven't seen in a long time that I am looking forward to seeing. So that and A Devil in a Blue Dress based on the Walter Mosley novel. Very excited about that. So I have always preferred Foxy Brown to Shaft. Oh wow, Foxy Brown, Pam Grier. Now that would be something if Criterion released the 4K of Foxy Brown. I don't know if that's going to happen. I doubt that'll happen, but I would love to see that film get proper love in a nice transfer, in a nice release. Someone needs to do that. Somebody, Criterion, Arrow, somebody release Foxy Brown. Um, get on that, somebody. Hook, yes, top five gorgeous covers of the year so far. I did watch the 4K, so dang good. That opening Shaft song had me laughing. Oh yes, yes. Oh my goodness, it is so And one of the things that's really cool about that release is you learn a lot about because that song from Isaac Hayes, Shaft, you learn a lot about not only that song and that theme song and how that song was composed, and that Gordon Parks played a big role in influencing that composition because Gordon Parks also did music for his films as well. And so you learn a lot about how Isaac Hayes and Gordon Parks collaborated on that. But you also see a really cool feature with Isaac Hayes. He's in France performing in, I think, 1972. And he's being interviewed by French television. And you see him in concerts performing the Shaft song. You'll see the Reverend Jesse Jackson in 1972, 50 years ago. A young Jesse Jackson on stage introducing, Isaac Hayes, and he comes up and sings, and it's just a great interview and just one of many incredible features on Shaft. So when I say that Shaft is one of the best releases on Criterion in a long time, it's because of so many things, including you learn so much about the director, about that song from Isaac Hayes and the soundtrack, and just the cultural importance of that movie. I really enjoyed revisiting that amazing film. It's just so good, so good. 11th Hour Cleaning is a good supernatural flick. All right. Yes, The Devil in a Blue Dress. That and Raging Bull will be mine. Might also get the Once Upon a Time in China box set. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Hi, James. Congrats. Thank you, EP. I appreciate that. And then Jordan Rickerson, what are some other pre-orders upcoming you're looking forward to? Okay, some other pre-orders. I have pre-ordered Tenebrae, I believe Grindhouse. I ordered that from Grindhouse, and I'm expecting that on or before the 26th. I'm very excited about that. It's a Dario Argento film. I really enjoy Deep Red. Ken from Mid Level Media, thank you. Recommended that one to me. Really dig it. I'm excited about this one as well. So I've got that one coming. I also have the Out of Sight that from Kino that's been delayed. Surprise, surprise. Nothing new on that, right? There's a lot of delays there. I don't know what's going on there with some of these Kino orders, but that is a film from 98. Steven Soderbergh, George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez, Ving Rhames. Great, great film. Really enjoyed that film. I think that's the film that basically made George Clooney a star. So it's a really, really good film. Really dig it. See, Ethan, I prefer Pam Grier to most things. So no shame. Yep. Pam Grier was awesome. Love her in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. So love that film. Minister Society 4K Criterion looks awesome. I agree. I agree. That was one of the best looking discs of the year last year. Minister Society looked amazing. And I love that edition. I love the packaging of Minister Society. It's really good. So I really enjoyed that. Pam Grier is epic. Yes, to it getting proper love. Yes, I agree, Mika. I remember Isaac Hayes singing about chocolate salty. Okay, okay, yeah, and it's not just the song Shaft. It's also all the other songs and the other music that Isaac Hayes lent to this movie that really do a great job of storytelling and putting you in that setting of Black culture in the 70s in New York City. Just amazing. Kino has a big sale going on in now too. Yeah. Okay. Kino. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Dell, I have Arrow Blu-rays of Foxy Brown and Coffee, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did 4K for both. I would be stoked if they announced. Wouldn't it be great if they made those like a limited edition? That would be incredible. I would be all over that if they did that. I would be all over that. But guys, I really, really do appreciate everybody joining this live stream. I just want to say again, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us on this journey. Not just joining me, but joining us on this journey. Because just looking through the comments section here, I just see there were a ton of movies that you all mentioned that I admit I have never seen. I haven't seen a lot of these films, and that's part of why I love this channel is doing this channel is because it's for me, it's been great discovery. It's not only an opportunity for me to share about films with you, but it's also an opportunity for me to learn more about films I haven't heard of. So I've really enjoyed that relationship and just being a part of this great community and just working and interfacing with other creators out there. It is just awesome, a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. And I really do appreciate you participating in this community, whether you subscribe to the channel or you just watch videos on this channel, or if you drop a comment here or there sharing, hey, have you seen this movie? Have you heard of this director? What do you think about this title? Just, asking different questions in the role of physical media. It's all part of just spurring that conversation on, and I really do enjoy it and really enjoy being a part of this community. So thank you. It is 2K and beyond because of you. So thank you. I'm going to check out a few more here and then we're going to wrap it up. And as I said before, for me, Thursday is the unofficial beginning of the weekend. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you, James. Congrats. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Mika. I appreciate it. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Dell. Appreciate it. By still walking. Okay. I'll consider that. And later, culture training. And that is how we will leave it. Thank you all for joining. God bless you. Hope you all have a great Thursday night and an awesome Friday and have a great weekend. And this weekend, got a review of this wild and crazy title coming on Saturday. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. One of the zaniest, craziest multiverse trippy rides of all time. Look forward to sharing thoughts with you on this Saturday. So have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. See you next time at the movies. Peace. See you, everybody.